Okay, so here we are, section 7.2, triangles. This is going to be question number 1. Identify one base and height of each triangle. Well, we know this from parallelograms. So our base, in this case, if it's 7 meters, then our height has to be at a 90-degree angle. So we are looking for this little 90-degree angle symbol. And therefore, we know that the height is going to be 3 meters. Notice it says one base and one height. And the reason it says that, if we take this triangle here, we could actually rotate it around. And then we could say, oh, well, this, whoa, rotated a bit too much. There we go. Here's our, okay, this is clearly not cooperating. Let's try it again. Okay, a little more. There we go. We could actually set it up so that our base would be this side here, which is 5 centimeters. But then we would have to figure out the height. The height has to be perpendicular and in line with this little vertex over here. And they have not given us that information. So in this case, we would not be able to figure that out. Let's look at B then. B, well, I'm going to look straight from my 90-degree angle. There it is. So either this or this side is going to be my height. This whole length here, but we don't need that whole length. This is not part of my triangle. So I'm going to say that my height is 5, and then my base is 3. So they've kind of given us an upside-down triangle in this case, assuming that the 3 is my height. Let's look at C. C is an interesting one. We could rotate this in 2 different ways. Let's see if we can rotate it with more luck this time. So if we rotate it, there we go. One way we can set up our base being 6, this way, centimeters. And in this case, our height is 8 centimeters. We could also flip it the other way around. And in this case, the base could be 8, and the height could be 6. Over here for D, looks like our 90-degree angle is there, so 7 is going to be our height, and then our base is going to be 4. Base is 4 centimeters, and height equals 7 centimeters. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's look at number 2. We wanted to find the area. So our formula, work, answer method. Formula is base times height divided by 2. Our base is 7. Our height is 3, and we divide that by 2. 21 divided by 2 is 10.5, and we add our units, meters squared. Notice that my equal signs are all lined up vertically. Let's look at B. I'll do a second one. Formula, area equals base times height divided by 2. My base is 3. We did this from the last time. My height is 5. Divide that by 2. Going to move this out of the way. That gives me 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5, and the units are centimeters squared. So you make sure to put those units in. So that's 2, A and B. Now let's skip. We're going to skip to number 3. This is a fun, tricky one. Draw 3 different triangles with each base and height. We will do this one over here. So a base of 4. So here's a base of 4. And we want a height of 3. So the easy one to do is this one right here. There's a base of 4, and there's a height of 3. But in fact, if you think about it, just like we did with the parallelograms, I can move this line over here and connect it down to the bottom, and I have a second triangle in red that also has a base of 4 and a height of 3. So in fact, if I'm going to make a green line all the way across the top, and I'm going to extend the bottom line for my base, as long as my base is going to be 4 anywhere along this bottom line, anywhere, so here's 4, and as long as the vertex, the top vertex of this triangle touches that top green line, I can draw a triangle anywhere and it will be the same. So for example, I could make a really long one over here, and if we look at this particular triangle, it has a base of 4, and the height still goes up 3 units. Well, what does that mean? That means the area, which is half base times height, which is half times base 4 times height 3, which is half of 12, which is 6. It means all of these triangles, the red one, the black one, and this blue crazy wide thin one, all have the same area. So as long as the base and the height are the same, it doesn't matter what shape they have, they will have the same area.